But I think he's the type of player. He is a regular season warrior. Now that he's playing with guys who are closers, though, we're gonna see him shine because he doesn't have to force a shot, but he does. What Will mentioned about Brian earlier. He gonna create a shot for them to score easier.
Speaking
And they already
of
hit
the Nets, because the season's coming up soon. The vaccine.
Yeah, I saw that. Man.
A couple players are not trying to get the vaccine, which I respect their reasons. As we all talked about it on a previous episode with pro-choice. Yep. Seems like the NBA is trying to take that away. Unfortunately for Andrew Wiggins, good, Bradley Beal,
Kyrie.
Oh yeah. And Kyrie. There's a couple other players, but they said 90% of the league is vaccinated, which is crazy to me. But yeah,
you think it's the real numbers or? You think that it's really 90%, or are they saying
it's only a handful of players?
Because if you don't do it now, it's like you're the problem. Cause think about that.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, cause like I'm just thinking, taking a step back. If someone tells me that 90% of everyone at my job did something, like they don't have to prove it. If they said 90%, now if I'm the person who didn't do it, I'm the problem now. So so anyone else who hears this is just like, yo, Stefan, you get everybody at your job, you're the only 1 out of 10 people who are not doing it. You're the problem now.
You're the guy. We're looking at you now.
Yeah, it's like
well,
figure this problem out.
I can't confirm that it's 90%. I just know.
I know that. I'm just coming.
I forgot who said it, but it was on First Take. It was on First Take.
That's a great point.
And they was talking about the handful of players that haven't got vaccinated. Kyrie's name came up. Stephen A. Smith was wild and saying he should be traded. Sounds crazy, but
no, he's
stupid sometimes.
This is a great segue because my next topic is going to be role models, right? Because the same clip they were talking about LeBron and I saw a Skip. Yeah, Skip is so frustrating at times, pretty much all the time. But he was like, I wish LeBron would have answered it different because I realized he's a role model and when he says, people listen to it. And LeBron he said the same thing we said, pro-choice. Just, hey, man, people should be out here deciding for themselves. So, so he's painting him as his role model for the entire league, man. So I'm just curious, man. That's what he said in his statement. He said, I have it, but I think other people should have the ability to do what they think is best for themselves, their families, and their organizations, right? Which to me, it is a politically correct answer, but in this time, that's not even the politically correct answer. He gave the right answer, I feel like, on top of being politically correct.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just surprised so many players are getting it. Giannis got it.
I just feel like...
I mean, they haven't said KD didn't get it, so I'm assuming he got it. So
if he would have said something different, though, I just feel like they would have, got back to this shut up and dribble type thing. So my thing is like, how do y'all define role models, man? Like, how do we determine who's a role model, who we should listen to? Like, how do we get to that point where we say, like, how do y'all define it, man?
For when I would look at it, a role model is first you got to define what your values are.
Okay.
Before you even classify somebody as a role model. Even if he is a basketball player, you got to look at him as like a person first and what it is that he holds truest to him or what is it that you look to get from him. Because you could have someone who everyone does multiple things. Like, let's say I like how people say that LeBron is a role model. Yeah, he's a role model. He plays basketball. Not everyone plays basketball. But you might want to be a leader. You might want to be a father. You might want to be a husband. You might want to be an entrepreneur. You might want to do a bunch of different things. So I think you got to first define what it is that you're looking to do, what you want from whatever it is that you're looking at or towards. So
yeah, that's solid. What about you, Steph?
I agree in a sense. I believe that a role model is how you find them. It's not based on what a person is saying. It's really the actions that how they behave. Like, you can't just follow a person who says that they're about something and doing the opposite. So I feel like it's more about actions rather than like. I mean, of course, a role model has to be somewhat of a verbal leader, but if their verbal skills aren't matching up with what they doing, it doesn't really mean anything.
Very true.
I saw it was like I can't remember the exact quote, but it came from Drake, and he was like telling people how to love a woman or how she should be loved. I'm just like, and this girl shared it. I was just like, I don't understand how this holds any weight. This man don't even know. This man was forced into being a father.
Damn.
So I don't
Shots
even
fired.
know.
Shots fired, Drizzy.
I don't even know if he could teach y'all how to be loved. If he had to be forced into a certain role, and that woman, I think I seen her one time. So clearly he wasn't loving her, right? We don't know who she is. I don't know her name still.
I'm talking about this baby mother.
Yeah.
Oh, she was like the softcore porn joint.
Oh, well, that's why we don't.
A lot
know
of people have seen her. Maybe a few too many, but
no one shows how to love a porn star. Copy, Drake. This is why certain people can't be looked at as that just because the actions not lead. They're not following what they saying. So
I agree, both. Man, it has to be someone who says and does what they say, right? That whole practice what you preach type, deal. Like, don't just tell me to do it and you out here just running and gunning, doing all this other nonsense. Mm-hmm. If you telling me, if it's good enough for me, it should be good enough for you.
Right.
If you're giving the advice.
It's like we grew up hearing, "Don't do as I do, do as I say."
Right.
I heard that a lot
crazy.
growing up.
It's ridiculous.
I heard it a lot growing up, and one day I was in the car with my mom, and she had said that, and I was just probably like 12. I was like, "Ma, wouldn't these words make you a hypocrite if you say this?"
I mean,
she thought about
philosophical.
She thought about it. She was like, "No, wait. Actually, you know what? You might be right." And she never said it again after that because we just grow up into customs. Like, I'm sure she's heard that from somewhere growing up as well.
Right.
But when
growth,
she took
man.
the time to think about
growth,
it.
It's like one of the ridiculous statement when people just get tired of explaining to kids because I said so.
Right.
Yeah,
that's not an explanation.
Right. That's kind of ridiculous to even say that to someone who's trying to learn, and you're trying to just teach them. You're supposed to be molding them, and your response is because I said so.
It's ridiculous.
So that means that they don't ever need to look for logic or reason behind anything that they do.
Yeah.
Because it could just be because I said so.
Right.
That's ridiculous. If you don't know the answer, just tell them.
Yeah, just let us know.
Because this is what I know, and you know what? I'm gonna look more into it, and I'm gonna get the answer. Matter of fact, you look into it.
Right.
You do a research project, and you find out why you believe that there could be a better way.
Exactly. But how crazy is that? Because you gave an example. How great is that of a example of a role model? Because somebody who, when they say something that's incorrect, and you ask them about it being incorrect, and then they take the advice and say, you know what, and self-correct at that point, like, hey, I'm gonna take a different route to this because you're right, this doesn't make sense.
Right.
That's a great example to me of that's the ideal role model that people need to follow because it's like, I want my role models to see growth too. Mm-hmm. You trying to help me through my real time growth, and you're still growing at the same time, man. That's real parenting. That's real development right there, man. I love that.
One of my favorite sayings: the teacher who remains the student remains the teacher.
There you go. I love that one. That's a great quote.
You always gotta be learning. We're not all knowing.
Exactly.
I don't like when people act like they know it all. I'm just like, we're human. We all flawed. We all gotta learn something.
And that's crazy. That's what leads me to my next question. Does everybody have a positive role model? Because that's a rare thing to experience. Because like you gave an example of we hear it all times. I know everyone out there has heard this too. Like when a kid asks us too many questions, it just becomes because I said so and do as I say, and they don't change off that course, right? Even if they think about it later and regret it later after the child is grown, we rarely, I feel like, see someone get off that course. So like, I think everybody has a positive role model, whether it's a parent or not. Like,
I don't believe so. It's just so many people that just turn to the streets. I don't know what positive role model that person has, because if somebody's not in your ear about what you're doing to keep you off the streets, um, I think that's evident as to why you are.
Right.
Unless we got just hard headed people, which is, I mean, I'm sure they're out there, but I'm also sure that there are people out there who don't have that, positive role model to get them um, from the cycle that they're in.
That's a good point. It's definitely some people that we unfortunately lose, and it's a lot harder to get them back if we do get them back. You know, in the long run.
Right, it's a lot of people who don't have role models at all, and it's sad.
Yeah.
Like I know people who some people they take role models for granted. Some people they afforded parents and they afforded uncles and aunts. They afforded neighbors, good schools and teachers who are invested in them. They have different coaches who might have wanted to be. They held themselves as a role model or an outlet. Might have had good guidance counselors in school, but there's sometimes people who they just came up in dilapidated school systems.
Mm-hmm.
They came up with parents being strung out, the mom being strung out on drugs, and the father missing in action because he really didn't even know if that was his kid because the mom and him were both ripping and running. The grandmother was already too tied up and burdened and worn out from the crack era, hitting the kids and putting her kids on the drugs, and she's already had to raise generations of kids, and she already had to raise the other children's kids, and it becomes too much. It's a lot of people who have so many things that they're fighting against, and it's sad. But through all of the midst of this, as a person, you gotta just have your eyes open, and you just gotta look deep inside yourself and know what it is that what do you want to become,
Right.
like, and ask yourself. Like we were just having a conversation earlier, like even like with a job, like how high, what do you value yourself as? Like when you look in a job, it's one thing to just apply for a job for something that you want to do and say, like, how often do people go to jobs and they ask you, like, how much is your desired salary? And what people are thinking is, man, whatever's gonna get me in the door. This kind of stupid question is this? Like, I don't want to say too much and y'all be like, well, have a good day. We're not looking for you. No, like, how often do you really truly sit back and think what your true value is?
Right.
When you put it, what are you worth? What is your time worth?
Absolutely.
Did you think about what people are wanting to pay you or what you're doing during these hours in your day? It's like, dang, you're not worth much if this is all you're requiring. Like, you worth a cheeseburger per hour. Like, you worth one cheeseburger per hour, and that's what your worth is. That's what you're settling for.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Lack of role models can definitely do that, man.
Right.
Definitely do that. But do y'all have role models? Have anybody y'all would consider role model?
Yeah, definitely. Of course. People. I got so many connections. Of course, you guys, my family, but even in my places of work, I met people that I look up to as well. So I'm definitely grateful to have this circle around me, and help guide my path. It's just unfortunate when people don't have that, to be honest with you, just a positive circle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it happens like that, man. I think it's so many role models out there that people can glean things from, whether it be a religious person, family, coaches, co-workers.
You said coaches.
Yeah. Do you
coaches,
think that,
sure.
that a person needs to have a personal, like an actual personal relationship with a person in order for them to be viewed as a role model? What do you think?
Do they need a personal relationship? I don't.
No.
No, I wouldn't say so. I would say that makes it better. That would make it a better fit for you to really know the person, because then you know their true intentions, in terms of what it is they want from you, and what they want for you, right? And so I think it definitely helps. It definitely changes the game. which I don't know. I think it changes the whole dynamic in my opinion. It does. Like I've never had a role model that wasn't someone I knew personally. I've had different role models at different periods that have inspired me to do different things, have taught me different things, but I've never had one I like reached out and was like, I don't know you, but you're my role model, Vincent Van Gogh. Like, didn't
You don't gotta say that, but I mean, if you really think about it, it might be because like I feel like we've met people or seen people like, oh, I want to get like him. You never said that before?
I've always known them.
It could have been that could have been a great point, Stefan, by even saying that because by you even pulling his name, but you having an interest in art, you might not view him as a role model, but this was an artist who got his work out there. He has a whole collection of work.
Very true.
And now he has that great exhibit, which I'm sure you would like to have your artwork in an exhibit as well. So again, like he might, we might hold these role models and like we might take different levels of role models. I would say, right. I would say it's different levels.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't discount not knowing them completely. Yeah, but I know it's such a deeper connection, and I might have. I honestly sometimes I view my life as like I might have just been spoiled. Where I feel like I have an abundance of role models. You know what's crazy? I had a girl ask me this once when I was in college. She was like, how did you learn how to become a man if you didn't have a father? And it made me stop and really think about all the men and a handful of women as well. But mostly I thought about the men that played a role in my life and how I was able to take pieces from each of them. And so I know I am spoiled when it comes to having role models because every person, like you said, doesn't have that. And it's a sad situation where you see that they can't. But I've been able to pull from pastors. I've been able to pull from coaches, teachers, principals. I had so many people, pour into me and inspire me to do things and tell me that I could do things that, not that I didn't think I could do, but just continue to push me to know, like, hey, you can do this, reinforce it. Right. And so, like, that's so major. I feel like I never had a moment where I thought I couldn't do something. And when I look back on it, it's because I had people championing me and telling me there is no ceiling. Like, shoot for the stars and don't stop. Like, just keep going. So, so it's a blessing, man. But that said, do y'all think there's negative role models out there? Are there negatives? I think that somebody about to drop Future. Go ahead.
You're gonna take from a person what you want. And I remember thinking about that because like I was really on the fence. Like I had just mentioned, I was a Omega Psi Phi member, one of the best fraternities on earth, and I was a little apprehensive at first and joining. When it came down to the time when I was supposed to just, make that decision, and I went to one of my advisors, and he had asked, I had asked him rather, like, what is, like, this was during the time when you were seeing all the different stuff about Illuminati, and I was like, well, if I join this fraternity, does that mean that I'm like a part of this sort of.
You get your Mason ring in 2 months.
Sort of situation. And then he was just like, you know what? This is just the same as anything else. You're going to get from it what you want from it. There's people who they become it and then they decide that they just want to they want to be pillars in the community. People want to go into politics. Some people want to just do a lot of community service. Some people want to use it for networking and uplifting different people and different whatever career path that they go into. Some people want to do it for just partying, and some people want to do it for just getting all the girls. Some people want to join biker clubs and start their own biker clubs and just get crazy. And some people want to just go around and start step teams and dancing and doing all type of crazy stuff. But when it comes down to role models, is who are you at your core and what are you trying to really get from a person? Because even just like we had mentioned Future, right? like you could say as crazy as Future is, how he likes to rap about using all of these different drugs.
Oh, good Lord.
What you can take from him though is that he is a businessman first. Anytime
100%.
somebody takes this much time and energy and they go into a studio, they're able to record their music. He's sober enough to record his music. He's sober enough to make his money that he is making. He's sober enough to and he's been doing it for over like a decade now.
That's a
He's
fact.
been consistently doing it. We haven't been hearing about him being bankrupt or having any problems like that. He does a lot of other stupid stuff, but when it comes down to like, you know what I mean? Like you pull from people what you want.
It's true. That's true. What about you? You think it's negative role models?
Oh yeah, most definitely. There's always people who could have a bad influence on you. You gotta keep your circle small, not let those people in. They can have a crazy effect on your life. The people that we talking about who are unfortunate not to have positive role models, I'm sure they have negative role models in their life, telling them, pushing them, egging them on,
Right.
to keep doing the foolishness that they're doing. So, yeah, they definitely out there. They're probably out there in abundance, actually.
Yeah.
You think that you should let them go, or you should help them?
What do you mean? Like, should we help people who are negative role models out there?
People who are negative influence, I'll say.
I think both of y'all, which I said to me amounts to it's accountability, right? I think both parties should have accountability for their actions, right? Who
So you don't
choose?
think we should help them?
Well, I think who you choose to follow is who you choose to follow, right? No one's forcing this person on you. Yeah, you might get dealt a hand where these are the people around you, but at some point you're gonna meet a positive role model, and then that just becomes clear because if I'm doing good and I meet someone who's doing bad, I can see it. If I'm doing bad and I meet someone who's doing good, I
Right.
can tell
You
it's a
can-
difference
you can tell it.
between
Yep.
us and whatever scenario is. But in terms of helping them, I personally think we should be helping everyone that we can. You know, I have a personal goal in my heart that I'm not a big give money to charities at the register. I'm sorry, everybody who out there who trying to raise money for their charity. I do not give dollars at the register or round up. I keep all that. But I'm big on if I see somebody asking me, perfect example, I was at 7-Eleven last night. Guy asked me for some money, gave him a couple dollars. It's a guy on our street where I walk all the time. And I can tell he does drugs and he's strung out, he's having a rough time. And so he always asks me for money. And I'm like, man, I'm not giving you any money. I'm gonna take you to get something to eat. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna help feed him because while he's dealing with whatever he's dealing with, and I think that's the only thing that creates a negative role model. They're dealing with whatever they're dealing with, and they're not handling it well. And so I think it is our job to kind of like do what we can to kind of alleviate some pressure some people might be feeling sometimes. Because I think we only make bad decisions like that.
I agree.
If something weighing on us.
Last year, or 2 years ago, I was at Family Dollar and this lady was outside. She was like, "You could give me $5." I was just like, and she just looked like she was on
What happened
something.
to spare change?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
getting expensive out here, man.
Right, yeah, I didn't understand, and I was just looking. I was just like, yeah, she looked like she on something. Nah, but there's a Burger King literally right there. I can get you something to eat.
Yep.
She was like, "What you gonna get me?" I was just like,
Yeah.
Well, what do you want from there?
That's crazy.
I want a cheeseburger and some onion rings. Okay,
That's valid.
extremely doable.
Yeah.
All right, I get that. Got that. Pulled around the corner back to the Family Dollar. Gone. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere in
Dang.
sight. I'm just like, copy. Just make me waste my bread because I didn't give it to you. So I just gave it to some kids who were just walking in the vicinity. They definitely was taking some free BK, but that's why you really can't just give them money because you just supporting their addiction. So it's just like, I'll give you food, but damn, like y'all not even taking the food.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with the money. I try not to give money like when I can, like, but I think we gotta help these people, man.
You know what?
I don't think I can give money in the future.
Crazy story. I remember when years back, a couple years back, right? There was a guy who stood out in front of the store every single day.
That's who it was last night.
This was down when I lived down by the falls.
I'm telling you, it's the same guy.
Okay, so either way, I mean, I don't know.
He moved now.
All right, well, I guess the guy relocated.
He moving up.
So I would give him $1 every single time I seen him. Every single time I saw this guy, right? And and I mention this because we just talking about not giving people the money. I would give him $1 every single time I saw him. Without fail, I'll give him $2, whatever it was. And I remember one day I went into the store, and then I had came back to my car, and he was like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" And I'm like, "Nothing much." I was like, "Man, I ain't got it today, man. I just realized I left my wallet." He reached in his pocket, and he gave me $2. And because I was like, I was gonna grab a bag of chips. Right. And he was like, "Yeah, hey, I got you, man. We help each other, right? We brothers." And I was like, "This is crazy, man. Crazy. That's a crazy situation right there. Like,
that's dope.
That's dope. Yeah, that was nice. I never forgot that one. I thought that was kind of cool because
that's definitely cool.
It's like you realize that I've helped you all the time, and then you see in the smile he had and how it made him feel good to be able to help, just the way that he's been being helped." Yeah. And I just told him, like, I took it, and I was like, "Nah, man, pay it forward. You help someone else out." Yeah. You know what I mean? You pass this along, because just the same way that just made you feel, just because you was able to help somebody, man, like, you put yourself into a position where you could help someone else more often, more frequently. Yeah, it's a rewarding feeling.
100%, man. That's I love the human interaction side of helping people. You know what I mean? Because even when it's the dude, every time when I see him walking, he always asks me for money, but he always catches me if I'm driving too. And that's when I give him the food, like, "Hey, man, let me get you some food right now." And, you know, he's always asking me for money to go to Papa John's. I'm like, "Bro, Papa John's is out of your budget. We got to get more in your budget. You know, I know you ain't going to take this money and go to Papa John's. I'm not even eating Papa John's tonight. They want $30 for a pizza or something stupid. I'm not eating there. We belong at Taco Bell, sir. Like, let's go together. Like, let's go together." But it's like, you know, it's that human interaction, man. You can't beat that joint.
That's a fact.
Nah.
You know, but it's definitely some reckless ones out there. I was in Buffalo, and I'm just sitting outside waiting, and guy walks up. He's like, "Hey, man, man, you think I get some money? I'm trying to catch the bus." I'm like, "Oh man," I literally check my pockets, right, and I make it a habit to try to really not to give cash as much as possible, especially large amounts. I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have anything on me right now." He's like, "Dang, man, it's an ATM right across the street." I paused, like, it froze me, like, I was like, "Hold on, son, did you just say check the ATM?" I was like, "Nah, he ain't say that." I was like, "What?" He's like, "It's an ATM right here, right next to this church right here. You can go in there and grab some money." I said, "Bro, I'm not going into an ATM and giving you $20. Like, I'm about to pay a $5 bank fee to give you $20. I'm about to spend $25 on you. I don't even know you, son." I was like, "Hold on, nah, son. I don't even know what you about to spend this money on for real, for real." He was like, "No, you can ask the guy. Check my character. I'm a good guy." I was like, "You ain't $20 worth of good guy. All right? Like, I'm not giving you $20 to go shoot up some drugs or get some liquor. Like, I'm not doing that, man. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, you want some food from this Chinese spot that I'm in front of? Like, I'm not going in here, but I'll go in here if you need some food." He's like, "Nah, I just need some money to get home." I'm like, "I don't know where home is, but you got to move closer to wherever you at right now."
I only need $20 to get on the bus.
Fam, like, what bus are you taking? We need to get on that same bus together, because clearly it's to the back. Like,
right, what are you talking about?
Crazy, man.
It's funny, man. People asking for money made me think about, remember the one episode we were seeing with Bernie Mac? It was the first episode of his show. Rest in peace to Bernie Mac.
I know what you're talking about.
The guy stopped and he was like, "The Mac man."
The Mac man.
He's like, man, listen, man. Look, I'm glad to hear you doing good and all that. But listen, man, I've been wanting to tell you, man, then you gotta help a brother out. I ain't eat all week. You ain't eat all week. Man, that's terrible. That's terrible. Terrible. Man, look. Well, guess what? I did, and guess what? It still tastes the same. Wouldn't even worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Like, yo, this guy crazy, man.
Bernie
Shout out
Mac's
to
a
Bernie
legend,
Mac, man.
Love
The
that
Mac
dude,
man, baby.
Listen,
Legendary.
man. Absolutely, man.
Word.
But yeah, man. So that pretty much wraps us up tonight, man. That's some topics, man. LeBron over the role models, man. Shout out to LeBron for not shutting up and dribbling, man. Keep talking your talk, bro. You a role model too out here for these people.
Most definitely.
Yes,
Even though I don't agree with everything you say,
Yes,
but that's
yes,
okay,
yes.
man. You a human just like the rest of
Not
I
us.
don't know what he
supposed to.
says bad. To be honest, he always
No,
says
I'm just-
things, the right
I'm just-
things.
Just a human, man. We just humans, man.
Right.
People just need to stop trying to down somebody if they're trying to do some type of good.
Yeah.
You know, allow people to get opinions off. Don't try to chop the tree down before it's fully grown.
Right.
You know, we all grown as humans, so don't chop people down at them knees, man. Forgive people and let them grow.
Especially if
Straight
they're
up.
6'9".
Right? We'll learn from Will, man. Like, come on, man. You just gonna throw that in there? I'm not
Talking about
supporting.
LeBron.
Oh, I thought you said 6'9".
Oh,
Oh, nah. I said especially if they're 6'9", like 6'9".
Ah, okay. I thought you was talking about. Never mind. I'm
Nah,
not
but
even
he
gonna
might be a
give him that
negative role
clout.
model.
He got enough clout.
That's
He started
enough.
hopping on our video.
That's
I got
enough.
y'all the most views.
Right. Yeah, all right.
We not doing
Beat
it over
it.
here.
nah, no sir.
But nah, you know, I think that's gonna be it for us here at the Aren't You Glad I Said It podcast, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, man. Leave us some thoughts. Join the conversation, man. Be a part of it, man. I know we missed last week. We will not be missing again. We're gonna be back and live next week for you guys. You know, tune in and join the conversation,
Here
man.
we are.
Aren't you glad we said it?
Yes.